Most people building their first modular system check two things before buying. Does it fit the HP and can they afford it? That's not an audit, that's a shopping list. And it's why so many first systems end up with modules that technically work but don't function as an instrument. There are 4 checks that actually tell you whether a rack holds together. They take about 20 minutes on Modular Grid. Running them before you spend anything is the difference between building a system and buying an expensive collection of parts. I'm going to walk you through all 4 on a real rack on screen. By the end, you can run the same audit on your own rack tonight. And you'll know exactly what needs fixing before you commit to anything. This is the kind of rack you can see often. 9 modules, well-reviewed brands, around $2,000. Fits comfortably in a 104 HP case with room to spare. It looks solid. Someone spent real time on this, and it's going to fail 2 of the 4 checks. And one of those failures is invisible until you look for it specifically. The checks run from personal to structural. Let's go. Check 1. The readiness check. Before you look at anything structural, run this on every module. On yourself, not the rack. 2 questions for this. Can you explain what this module does in 1 sentence? And can you describe specifically how you would use it in this system on day 1? Both matter independently. The first tests whether you understand the module. The second tests whether you're ready for it. Vague answers to the second question for modulation or I'd explore with it mean the module is aspirational. You're buying it for what it might become, not for what you do with it tomorrow. Those modules go on a watch list, not on a first system. The MCO MK2 is the primary oscillator. Multi-engine digital 16 synthesis modes. Specific use, main melodic voice, sequenced from the DAW via the FH2. The Dixie 2 Plus alongside it is an analog VCO detuned against the MCO maybe for movement and richness. The SAM filter shapes both voices. I know exactly where it sits in the chain and what I'm doing with it. The quad VCA, 4 channels for amplitude and CV control. I can describe specifically how every channel gets used, and we'll come back to that in check 3. The dual ADSR, 2 envelope generators, 1 per voice, each feeding a VCA channel's CV input to shape notes over time. Straightforward. And we've got the quad LFO. 4 independent LFOs, 1 rate knob each, immediately patchable to the filter cutoff, oscillator pitch, or the VCA, or whatever. And we've got the FH2, which converts MIDI from the DAW to CV. This is basically its entire job in this system. Then we've got the output module, obviously, and the Morphogene. Morphogene is the tape and microsound module. Records audio to an SD card, splices it, you can manipulate the playback speed and direction and granularize up until at the micro level. Second question, what would you actually record into it on day 1? How does it sit in this signal chain and what parameters would you modulate and with what CV source? If the answer to this involves the word explore, the module maybe isn't ready. Morphogene requires you to understand recording workflows, splice management, and granular processing before it contributes anything musical. Might be fine to just experiment around to get random stuff, but if you want to do something with intention, this being on day 1 of a first system probably will just sit there. So Morphogene goes on the watch list. That doesn't mean we're skipping effects entirely. A first system benefits from reverb or delay, especially when you're focusing on synth voices like in this case. So I think I would suggest first the FX8XL. The FX8XL does in 6 HP, 32 algorithms, 3 controls, immediately usable on day 1. That's the right complexity level for a first system. Morphogene, in my opinion, is something for later. So we replaced one module and got like $300 back before we've looked at a single structural issue. Check 2. HP efficiency. For every module over 16 HP, one question. Is there something smaller that does 90% of the same job for this specific system right now? Morphogene was the only module over 16 HP and it's already gone from check 1. Looking at what remains, nothing is really oversized for its function. The quad VCA earns its 12 HP across 4 channels that all get used pretty much. We've got the dual ADSR, it earns its HP. The quad LFO is kind of big with 14 HP. I think Depth also has a micro version if you prefer a smaller one. But overall, it's nothing here is taking up space, it doesn't justify. Check 2 passes cleanly. Not every rack has a problem here, and that's fine. When this check does fail, it's usually a hardware sequencer eating 20 plus HP in a studio system that already has a DAW or a complex multifunction module whose size is only justified once you know the system well enough to use all of it. So this rack avoids both. Check 3. Utilities coverage. 3 questions, all 3 need a yes. Can you manually scale every modulation source before it reaches its destination? Can you control the amplitude of every voice dynamically and independently? And can you mix multiple signals wherever the system needs to combine them? For the amplitude control, we got the quad VCA. It has 4 channels with a cascaded mix output. Both voices are covered. The summing is handled. That works. For the mixing, we've got the cascade output that handles basic summing of both oscillators. For this system as designed, it's sufficient for now. If you wanted parallel processing for more complex routing, you'd add a dedicated mixer, but it's not a blocker here at this stage. Now the third question. Can you manually scale every modulation source before it reaches its destination? This rack has a quad LFO. 4 modulation sources ready to patch into filter cutoff, oscillator pitch, VCA level, wherever you want movement. Without an attenuator though, every one of those LFOs hits its destination at whatever strength it naturally outputs. There are not many places here where you can dial it back to the amount you actually want. I mean, for the filter cutoff, for example, you can use the CV2 input of the SAM filter as an example. But if, for example, you want to modulate the FX8XL, it goes in with full strength. If you wanted more subtle movement, you wouldn't have any way to get in there. So what I would add to this case is an attenuator as a standalone module, because for me it's kind of a utilities failure and it's just one small module that makes the difference between modulation you can control and modulation that controls you. So let's look for an attenuator or attenuator. You can see there are a lot of options, really cheap, mostly passive though. Let's choose this one with 4 channels because we've got a 4-channel LFO. So we've got that covered. Check 4. Signal flow completeness. Trace a complete unbroken audio path from every sound source to the output. Every voice, source to filter to VCA to output for each one. So for the first voice, it's the MCO goes into the VCA channel 1, where the envelope is controlling the CV input, which gets a gate from the FH2, shaping the amplitude over time. Then the Dixie goes into the VCA channel 2. The envelope 2 is doing the same. And then the cascade mix output sums both voices into the SAM filter, and the filter goes then into the FX8XL and then into the output module. Worth noting, this only works because the quad VCA has cascading outputs. A basic dual VCA without that feature would break the signal flow entirely. Always verify before you build the rack, not after. 4 checks in order. This is just in 20 minutes on Modular Grid before you spend anything. If you want the framework that determines what goes in the rack before you audit it, the 5 purchasing decisions that define a first system in the order they actually matter, that's the Modular Buying Roadmap. Free PDF, link in the description. And if you want the complete process, from defining what you're building all the way through your first patch, with 4 complete case studies at different budgets, I'm opening the founding cohort of Build Your First Modular System on April 13th. 197 euros for founding members and 397 after launch, 7-day window. Everything is in the description. See you there.